In the brutal podcast system, any jackass with a microphone and internet connection can pose as an expert on any topic under the sun. Fortunately, however, there exists a humble duo of said jackasses who at least aspire to minimize the effects of the current egregious level of aforementioned fake-ass horseshit and those who perpetrate it. This duo attempts this very noble task by allowing you, the listener, to have total unimpeded access to the real minutia of their pathetic everyday lives. This two-member task force is known deep within the podcast world as Zero Front. These are their stories.
Welcome into another edition of Zero Front. Doing a Friday night show. I know it's been about a month, but we're back. Joe, how you doing?
Not bad, brother. I'm trying to endure all this bullshit this week about the eclipse, and if I hear the word totality one more time, I'm going to snap something in half. But all things being said, despite the nasty weather and everything else, you know what, brother? We not only have shoes, we have feet to put them on, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm watching the Knicks-Nets game right now. The graphic on the screen right now, it says Josh Hart has 664 rebounds this season, most by any Knicks 6'4" or under in any season. So congratulations to Josh Hart. I know I talk about it a lot, Joe, but dude, watching my favorite NBA team with my favorite college players from the school it's like, I can't believe I'm witnessing this shit. And they're all doing like really well. It's weird. It's like, and that's not weird that they're doing well. It's weird that they're on the same team in New York City, the most popular city in the world, the Mecca. They play in the world's most famous arena, MSG. They all went to the same college. They all won a national title together, and they're on the same team. And like they're like dominating. I don't know. Sometimes I have to pinch myself. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is wild, dude.
I can imagine for you. I can imagine it's probably pretty exciting. It's exciting for me. Brunson is an Eagles fan. Brunson went to Villanova. Brunson is Philly to the fucking bone marrow. I'm sure he'd love to be a Sixer, and I'm not saying that facetiously, but the next best thing I think in New York City,
dude, Brunson's
great. So he's there. Oh no, Brunson absolutely loves Philly. No, he's a Philadelphia kid, but I can understand.
He's not a Philadelphia kid, though.
I mean, once he went to Villanova, he became an Eagles fan and everything. And he's, really, I mean, you go, honestly, and you go ask him, oh, you want to play on this team you're playing on? But I'm not trying to say, I'm not dissing anybody, Sean. I'm saying, I'm sure it probably is great for you to see a lot of these guys that you went to Nova, right? You were there when they won some championships, and it's probably
I was there.
Cool.
I was there. I graduated 2009.
Okay.
So I went to the Final Four. That was cool, but
yeah,
we didn't win that title until 2006. We won in 85. Obviously, I was before I was born, and then we won in 2016. We won in 2018. But I went to the game in 2018 in San Antonio, but I just wasn't a student at the time.
That's cool. But yeah, I can imagine for you, it's probably like as if maybe some maybe Detroit Piston fan, right? Just drawing a comparison. Suppose a Detroit Piston fan saw the Fab Five reunited as Pistons. You know what I mean? That would be pretty cool. Or at least maybe four of them, or three or four of them. You know, that's kind of cool.
Just for the audience who's listening, Joe's talking about the Michigan Wolverines when they had Juwan Howard, Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, those guys.
Yes, thank you. I should have clarified too, because not everyone is a sports fan, and not everyone remembers that far back. So thank you for that clarification. So what I want to do, if it's all right with you, because this was, do you have anything more on that next thing? I'm sorry. Did you?
I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about the Knicks or anything like that. We got a lot of topics to get to tonight, but you were telling me like you got some song lyrics. Do you want to get to the lyrics now, or you want to wait a little bit?
I can wait. Go ahead.
Okay. What if I told you that a guy who never played college basketball, he played college lacrosse, and he was a very prolific college lacrosse player. What if I told you that guy's now in the NBA and the Golden State Warriors?
College lacrosse player, and he's now on the Golden State Warriors?
Yes. His name is Pat Spencer.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about another lacrosse player that
the Jets player, the Jets?
No, it's was the greatest running back in NFL history, Jim Brown. He played lacrosse in college. He was pretty doggone good too. But go ahead.
Yeah.
So it does. That's an interesting game. Actually, after
But
several
another
times, I thought I might want to play.
to that is Pat Spencer's brother is Cam Spencer. He was part of UConn's national championship team.
Neato.
He was the guy. He was well, UConn actually has a lot of white guys. Like they had Klingon. Um, they got Cam Spencer, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. The other guy, he's a starter, Kolarak or I don't know. Anyway, but my point is,
UConn basketball, the national championship team.
Yeah, like the dude
Okay.
the dude who's in the NBA now who played like he didn't even play college basketball. He just like decided like I guess he played like some high school basketball. I guess he decided he's like I can like maybe play some pro basketball. So I don't know how exactly it happened. Like he got a tryout or something like that.
That's
anyway.
neat. But while we're talking about basketball, I do want to I want to interject one thing real quickly. I just got to say hats off to the ladies. Ladies basketball, I would have never even thought of that. Every time it came on, I'll be like, change the channel. Like, what in the name of God? They should put this on at 4:00 in the morning or something. Until recently, until Caitlin and Beckers on UConn and this kind of thing. Last year was interesting too. Last year was interesting too. When
let's not get caught up on.
No, I'm not getting caught up. I'm talking. All right. So, Jason, let's just give me a couple minutes. I just want to say that I was really impressed with Caitlin Clark. I was really impressed with Beckers. I was impressed with the whole LSU team, the everybody, and Dawn Staley and the national champion. It was just something that I can't believe. I was like really engrossed in that. I just wanted to bring attention to it and say hats off to it. Now, excuse me for getting a little snippy, but I wanted to get that in. Go ahead.
Yeah. What if I told you that a person who got hit by a train, their dead body was laying there, and some man saw the dead body and started eating the person's leg who got hit by the train? What would I tell you? Like, what would you tell me? Would you be like, that's like fiction, or you think that actually happened?
I'm here. I'm just thinking. You asked me a question. I want to process it for a second because that's heavy shit, dude. My original thought would be, oh, that couldn't happen, but something tells me that it could happen because of one thing, Sean. You've got some people that you got some people that do some drugs and that they're liable to do any damn thing. They're really, so, I mean, I'm not talking about like getting high or doing this and that. I'm talking about some people's reaction to, and in combination with some mental illnesses, I think that could have occurred because there have been, I could list all kinds of crazy stuff that has happened, under those conditions. So did it happen or not? I think it probably did.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. It's just, I saw that news. And I'm just like, okay, let me add this to my notes. Let's just see what Joe has to say about this. Cause it's like, it's a weird world where some sick obviously the person could be mentally ill, but to be that mentally ill to start chomping on someone's leg who just got hit by a train that's dark.
Well, I just want to say one thing real quickly. Mental illness is a continuum. You can get people who are a little bit of depression all the way to absolute, criminally insane. So it's a big, but the stigma has to be taken away from mental illness, like we've said on this program many a time, because just those two words put together are not indicative of that kind of behavior. The majority of people with mental illness are just people who are just like the two of us and a lot of other people that just maybe have a little bit of off here or there. But go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking of mental illness, I sent you down a rabbit hole. I sent you a video of this woman named Elisa Jordana. She is known from the Howard Stern show because she was never a writer on the show. Let's make that clear. She never worked for the show. She dated a writer from the show. And she's just part of the Howard Stern universe. Like she dated this guy named Andy Dick. She was engaged. You probably know who Andy Dick is.
He's funny as hell. Yeah.
I don't think that guy's kind of like this kind of mess. But anyway, she's been in like the spotlight because she was in the Stern. Then she was in this band called Cobra Starship, like this really famous band. She has her own in-streaming reality show where she's basically walks around with a camera that's taping her at all times. It's like, and people pay her money while she's streaming. And so I sent you this video where she's you probably saw the long video where it tells you the whole story, but you saw the end of the video where she's in the car with this gentleman, and he's sitting there and they're like fighting, and then she hits him really hard. She like punches him while she's driving, like looks like she almost breaks his nose. And then she keeps hitting him, and he's like, "You better stop hitting me." He starts cursing her out. And then he, while she's driving, he pulls her hair toward the passenger seat, towards him. And she's like, "Stop, you're killing me. You're killing me." And like the car pulls over, and he pulls her hair and he pushes her out of the car into the street. And then he runs outside the car and steals her car and leaves her in the middle of the street. And then she got arrested for assault. Obviously she's guilty of assaulting him, but what like was your opinion on that video? And I talk about the mental illness because apparently like she seems like she's really manic and mentally ill, to be because she's on camera all the time. So people
there's
see
something going on. Yeah, there's something going
and then
on.
she starts like, smacking this dude really hard. But you saw the backstory. He was cheating on her. So that doesn't excuse her, but he was cheating on her. So she was all manic and upset that he's cheating on her. But this guy, apparently he's given her over $1 million. Like that's how he met her. She was streaming and he found her stream and started donating like $25,000 at a time.
Right.
You like,
and therein lies the rub. Therein lies the rub. Do you think if he worked at a bank that he'd be with that? I don't think so. So therein lies the rub. And therein also, I mean, the video narrator said, despite his constant vulgarities and insults, she really developed real feelings for the guy because of his generosity. What the fuck are you talking about? Let's translate that. He was calling her a bitch and a cunt and everything. He was. I'm saying it. That's what he said. So the video said. Okay. So what he was saying to her on the phone, and she was allowing him to do that every single day because what the hell? Go ahead and call me whatever you want to call me. I'll take $1,000, $2,000 for an hour if you want to sit there and call me names, right? After a certain point, that bothers me. But my point is this, Shawnee. This Joker would have never been near anything because no one said here is that she is a absolutely
but in that situation, what would
attractive
you do?
woman. It's unbelievably attractive. But
what would you do if you were in the car with her?
I'm going to tell you in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Let me finish this one. So I just thought that I wanted to break the computer screen when I heard the narration. Despite his constant vulgarities and insults, she really developed true feelings for the guy because of his generosity. Christ almighty. Like, I don't know what you're saying there. Come on. Anyway, so they're riding in the car. And first of all, she knows who she's dealing with. She knows how reprehensible of a partner this guy can be. Right. She knows all that. She knows physically there was no way, if there wasn't money involved, she would be with this. Okay. So she's there. She's driving. She's in a mood. And I got to tell you, Sean, it's the funniest thing. And is because out of nowhere, she just gave him like a Hulk Hogan swat to the face. And it was just one of those things where, because if you were following this thing from the start, I kind of laughed a little. No, she didn't draw. Let me just say this, Sean. I'm sorry. She didn't draw blood or anything like that. It wasn't like a real violent punch, but it was just funny looking. She hit him right across the chops, and it just stunned him, and he didn't say anything, and it was kind of funny.
What you didn't see was here's why I digested this video without knowing the whole story originally. So you digested the video knowing the whole backstory, right? So when I first saw this, the caption that was going on the internet was "Woman assaults man with cerebral palsy." And I see this video and I'm like, everyone's saying it's fake because they're saying in the background, it looks like there's nothing's moving in the background. It doesn't look like she's driving, or it doesn't look like she parked the car.
I'm going there too. I'm going there too.
Like reading a script. So at first I'm like, is this?
Thank you.
At first I'm like, is this real or not? And I'm like, I just watched someone, because what you didn't see, also you didn't see in the video, Joe. And this guy, apparently the guy who made that video is a huge, he donates hundreds of dollars to this woman every time she streams. So he's like a huge fan. And the video could be a little bit biased, but what you didn't see is she hit him several more times than he showed in that video. Before he started pulling her hair, she was punching him over and over again.
Oh, we'll see that I didn't see, and you asked me to react to what I saw on the video.
They took the internet. They took the video they took it off like the main sites, so I couldn't like see, like, first of all, it was just like a 2-minute video at first where you see it, you have no context, and then I found out she's Elisa Jordana. Then I found out like I remember she was part of the Howard Stern show. So I'm thinking to myself, there's more to this than I'm hearing about. So then like I started doing more research and I found her account on YouTube, and I watched some of her streams, a little bit of what was going on. I'm like, okay, this woman's kind of out there. What is this? And then I saw her mugshot where she actually got arrested.
What?
So I wanted to get your opinion on it. To like, because you said like, yeah, like it was kind of like but imagine it's a girl, a guy, or it's a guy hitting a girl. It's still a violent act to punch somebody in the face, you know?
It is, but see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The way he reacted was just wrong because first of all, she was swatting him up, starting to, I think, in the mall parking lot. Remember that little
Yeah,
thing
you saw
there?
the thing with the cop, right?
Yeah, there's some kind of right. So she was swatting him up there, right? Now, and I saw the one swat in the car, and from what I saw, but even if she hit him multiple times, because I don't know, you call me what you want. You call me old school. But a woman can, and I've been in this situation before too, not quite, but she can hit me. You know what I mean? She can hit me, especially if I'm the one that messed up. But even if I'm not, even if it's her fault and she's just upset, she can hit me. She's a woman. And you know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to
What if she breaks your
get
nose?
physical. I'm going to get physical with her just to subdue her. I'm not going to harm her. I'm just going to stop her from attacking, or I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge. Like, bye, baby. See you later. I'll see you tomorrow. Call you. Poof, I'm gone. I just get out of the situation. Or if I'm there, I just got to restrain her. Hey, easy, easy, easy. Now, I've been in the situation. I've been hit, and most women don't have too much, and it's a little bit of an annoyance. But you just got to remember. You just got to remember there's certain nevers. And
Yeah.
only and I say the reason I hesitate there is never. If your life's in danger and a woman's got a gun in your face or she's this or that, okay, by all means, hit her with a haymaker. But I mean, in normal situations, in 99.9% of everyday life, never hit a woman, never hit your father. Go ahead.
And never hit your mother, obviously.
Woman.
You said woman, yeah, you classified it.
I said father after that. Well, I just figured it was implied that your mother's
I'm like, I had to
too.
think about that for a second. I was like, oh, okay, so the woman classified as mother too. I'm like, yeah. All right, so yeah, that happened. That video was crazy.
But I think it was. Let me please, Shawnee. I just want to get this in because you asked me to do something. You gave me a homework assignment to do. So I watched the whole thing. I endured some of it and everything. But my takeaway was this, Sean: that whole car ride, that whole thing, at a certain point, if that shit was real, I think, because now you're talking, okay, we're going to get into this here. I'm going to knock this camera off or turn it off. You know what I mean? Someone is. And you can't say, well, in the heat of the moment, they don't really. He got swatted in the face, and he looks like he sat there for a while after that. I mean, I saw him after that hit. He sat there for a good 90 seconds or so without her hitting back. Like, just, he had time to calm down and think about what he was doing. They left this thing on. My thing is that it was, my takeaway from this whole thing is that it did exactly what it was designed to do. And it's to get a lot of people talking about it, noticing it, who, what, where, who said, why. The headline was even deceptive enough to hook people in. I think it was very clever. It did exactly what it was designed to do. It's got people talking. And I think neither of those people, I don't think, I'm not one to judge, but I wouldn't want to do business with either one of those folks. Let me just say that. And I think the whole thing is strategic and almost brilliant bullshit. But go ahead.
That's what I thought. I thought, but
I still do.
But she actually got arrested. Do you think she would sacrifice getting? And I think they're in the state of Florida, so getting arrested for assault in the state of Florida is probably more harsh than if she was like in New York City, for example.
Maybe bits and pieces of it are true, Shawnee. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe bits and pieces of this thing are true, but the overall thing, particularly that car ride, total bullshit.
Yeah. So anybody out there, you could find the video on YouTube. It's just type it on, or maybe just on Google. It's probably easier. Elisa Jordana, Elisa. And the video is disturbing because it's like I guess this happens all the time around the world. People assault each other and there's violent relationships, but we actually see it on camera. You're like, whoa, this is actually disturbing.
And it just worked even further because you just relayed that out there and her name and everything, and now people are going to go check it out. So they're very manipulative and strategic, and it did exactly what it was designed to do. But I think it was a bunch of bullshit.
What do you think about the thing? What do you think about the thing I sent you? A guy said his friend grew up in New England. They have pigeons. People hate pigeons, right? But people domesticated pigeons, right? They're all over the world.
Yes.
Humans brought pigeons here. They raced them. They carried messages. They were honored companions for centuries. Now they're just thrown away like trash and they're stuck in the cities, right? And um, they have to beg people for food because they still trust people, right? But everyone looks down on pigeons and they're extremely intelligent. But for years, they're really like, tell the story about your
Okay.
brother with the pigeons and the pigeon like carrying back like
Okay,
the pigeon the pigeon like knew where to go and stuff. Tell that story.
Okay, so and I there's a friend of mine. I haven't seen him in years, but we grew up together and we spent decades as friends, and things happen and life goes different ways. But a friend of mine at the time, I'm going back at the early '90s. Okay, a friend of mine, his father owned pigeons, and he had a pigeon coop in the backyard, like a regular residential area pigeon coop. And I knew that we all knew. We just it was just something that he did, and he had them as a kid, and so at the time, I knew him. He was in his late 40s, early 50s, and maybe and older. But so he had about maybe, I think he had maybe 25 pigeons or something, maybe 2 dozen, maybe 3 dozen, nothing like, but it was a coop he had out in the back. And he asked me one time if I could ask my brother-in-law, who was in town from Indiana, my sister, my brother-in-law, and my nephews, right? They were in from Indiana and they were here for Christmas. So he knew when I told him when they were going back, and he asked me, he called me the night before, my friend did. He says, "Hey, my dad wants to know if you'll do him a favor. Would you guys take 3 pigeons? Could you ask your brother-in-law? Could you ask him if he'll take 3 pigeons, and he got a little cage for him and everything? Just take them. If it's if it's only a 11-hour drive or 12-hour drive out to Indiana, could you take 3 pigeons from here in Jersey? And tomorrow morning, at sunrise, let them out." And the implication was that they need the exercise. And it was like, wow, he said, but that's what pigeons, So anyway, that's what pigeons did. That homing pigeon, right? They used to put little notes.
Yeah. So anyway, not to cut you off. Not to cut you off. So summarize really quickly.
Okay, yeah, let me summarize.
These pigeons were going to another state, right? And then
okay, I'll make it real. This is the fast version. My brother-in-law and sister, they took the pigeons out there. The next morning, they released the 3 pigeons. They went up on the neighbor's roof for about 2 minutes, and then they went. And it was way later, like 12, 13 hours later, they made it back into Jersey. 2 of the 3 made it back in. 1 did not. And my friend's father just surmised that it was probably a hawk or something like that, some predator. But it's part of doing business, of course, doing business. But
don't you think that the pigeon could have just been kind of stupid and not find its way home?
No. Not those. No. Okay, you're
basically, you believe that pigeon was eaten alive by a hawk, and their life was ended devastatingly by a violent, voracious hawk biting its head off.
No, wait a minute. I just said, whoa. Where are you getting all this? You got some fucking imagination here. Because all I'm saying is he said, and he's a pigeon expert, this guy. Yeah. He said he's not surprised. He's a little
I know.
But he said it was okay. All right.
I'm just messing around with you, man. It's just one of those things. But so basically, but the moral of the story, the thing, those pigeons are so damn smart. Birds are obviously a lot. Wildlife, those animals are intelligent, right?
Oh, tremendous.
Really intelligent, extremely intelligent.
Yep.
But they were able to, like, without navigate, never having been in that area before, just to navigate, because wild birds know where they're going by navigation. They do it their whole lives. They navigate, and they what do they call it when they migrate and stuff?
Migrate, yeah.
But a pigeon is domestic. Like, the domesticated pigeon was like living in a house the whole time, right? And like
in a coop, yeah.
Like, they were able to find their way back home without following a car or anything like that. It's crazy how smart.
No, because that aforementioned navigation, Sean, it's built in. The aforementioned
bats have echolocation, but I don't know. Birds have some crazy.
Well, they have some kind of thing in their brains. Are just tiny. They're very tiny, but they're very complex. And something in their brain, Sean, lets them. It just guides them back. It's almost like a magnetic pull or whatever it is. I don't know how it works, but pigeons are amazing animals, and that's why they were used, way back for carrying messages and so forth and so on.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this really quick. A man named O.J. Simpson died, and the world shouldn't miss this guy. He cold-blooded murdered two people, got away with it. And he's dead now. So I've been like paying attention closely to the news. I'm like, okay, please don't. I know Howard Stern. Howard Stern's extremely happy. For years, he's been bashing OJ and imitating him, and he hates the fact that he's not in jail for life because he killed people. And I agree, but people started giving him a pass where like he was on podcasts and stuff as of like recently, as a couple weeks ago, right? And like people like still treat him like he's a legend and like he's a great guy and stuff. And he literally killed two people, and everyone knows he did it. So when you saw the news, what was like your first thought?
When I saw it, my first thought was like everyone, like, well, amen, good riddance, motherfucker. That was my original thought. But after just even like 30 seconds, I kind of looked up to God and I just said, I don't really mean that. Just do what you got to do. That's all. It's not up to me. It's not my, you know what I mean? So I just kind of, my initial reaction was really harsh and vengeful. But then after a couple of minutes, Shawnee, I was able to just level off a little. I'm not saying that, I still detest that guy, and I don't want to go off because I detest him. But I'm not sorry he's gone, but there's just something wrong. It's just something doesn't feel right about saying, all right, he's dead, let's have a party. That's a little much. It's just one of those things that.
Yeah, what if you're part of Ron Goldman's family or Nicole Brown Simpson's family? Like, don't you think like they should be able to celebrate a little bit?
I think they're going to feel relief, and I think they're going to feel some sense of justice. But I think even it's not like they're not celebrating in reverence of him. They're not celebrating because there's something wrong with just celebrating anyone's. It's just a feeling that you get. I'm not saying they're wrong.
All right. So
it's a feeling that
Juice is dead. He was a hell of a football player, but he was a scummy person who killed two people.
And God will deal with him.
But someone told me, like someone I know told me, like he spent like almost 10 years in jail, and the reason that he was in jail for so long because it turned from just like stealing stuff to kidnapping because he said you're not going anywhere to the person who was like in his house or something like that. Something happened. I don't know if I could be getting this wrong. It's secondhand knowledge. Someone told me this. But the minute you say you're committing a crime and you say you're not going anywhere, you held someone against their will, it could be a form of like kidnapping. So I think that's OJ went to jail so there was some justice in the sense that he spent some time in jail on such a minor thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You know what else? You know what else too, Shawnee? I swear to you that what he did, regardless of the fact that he got away with it legally, I think what he did ate him alive inside. I do. I really, really do.
I hope it did. You like to think so, that he had some sort of uncomfortable thing eating at him all the time. Because he's like the celebrity, right? And everyone worships him, and he's a great football player. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's the juice. And he was a movie star. And then everyone goes from like loving him, and he's like the hottest thing in Hollywood in terms of like guys who are former athletes.
Yeah.
And then he gets away with murder, so he's happy about that. But he also knows everywhere he goes, people are looking at him and judging him. And
that
just,
too. Yeah.
And he probably, I wonder at some point, unless he's like a sociopath and just lost emotion.
But I don't think I don't know. I can't make the diagnosis, but it doesn't seem, I don't think he was a sociopath. I just think he went too far, and he got his big giant ego hurt too, because she was maybe interested in other guys and they were separated or this and that. There were stories that went on too that she may have been a little bit more social than he would have liked or whatever, something like that. But talk about the classic going overboard. But I mean, he got his ego hurt. And I remember there was talk about certain drugs that would, that apparently had, in a system or whatever at the time that can really drive you like, so you can get into like, I mean, go look back and look at some of the substances that we're saying. See, I just think he just lost and snapped. And I think what triggered him was the shot to his ego that people around town knew that she had interest in some other guys. And it was too much for him. But
yeah, I mean, we know the story was, it doesn't matter what it's like the whole thing. We're talking about like domestic abuse and stuff, like what happened with that. It's like there's always some sort of driving force that's going to lead these nut jobs to like do something so crazy as to assault or kill somebody. But normal people just don't take that step and get to that level of actually doing it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So anyway, did you see?
But that still doesn't necessarily make him a sociopath. That doesn't put him in that
category.
I'm
saying like in terms of like, I'm hoping he's not a sociopath, because if he's not a sociopath, he carries some emotions for the rest of his life. He was constantly, in some sort of pain that people were judging him.
And I don't think he was. And that's for that reason too. I'm glad, so he could feel some of this shit, because a sociopath would feel nothing. But I just think from just from what I've observed of him, just a little bit that I've observed of him and his affect on TV and this and that, it's hard to hide. I think it's got to him a little bit. And a sociopath, it wouldn't even bother. It was just incapable of
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. Like,
all right, let's roll.
Okay. I don't know.
So,
all right. So anyway, before we do the lyrics, there was a guy, I think his name is Mark Chopper. He's like a Russian, like mobster type of guy. He played Russian roulette with a news reporter. I'm not even joking. He put the one bullet in, he spun you know what roulette is, where you put the one bullet as you're spinning around and you pull the trigger.
Like in the Deer Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, so, but he did it to a reporter and he put it to her head and pulled the trigger, dude. But thank God the gun didn't go off, but
oh my God.
What a psycho.
I can't, who was this guy again?
He was some Russian guy named Mark Chopper.
Mark Chopper.
Well, I don't know if he was Russian. He played Russian roulette. I don't know if he was Russian. He's like, oh, I think he might have been Australian. Right. I think he might have been Australian, but anyway, let me ask you a question, man. What would you do if people around you started going up to you and saying, you've been appearing in my dream, and like everywhere you go, people are telling you you're appearing in my dream? What would you do in that situation? If it was like some phenomenon that they never met you in your life, but they're telling you, Joe, is your name Joe? Yeah, you're appearing in my dream. What would you do?
That would be a little disconcerting to say.
Because I just watched an excellent movie with Nicolas Cage called Dream Scenario, and that's the exact plot. I gave the movie a 7.8. It was Joe. You have to watch this movie. Like, it just gets out of control. Where like he starts going places, and people are like, "Oh, you're making me feel uncomfortable," like because he did something to them in a dream, but he never actually met them. So it almost like ruins his life for everyone around him. Like doesn't want anything to do with him. I don't want to ruin the movie, but. Anyway, it's called Dream Scenario. It's Nicolas Cage. Don't you think that premise is interesting? Where like a guy's life is ruined because everyone all over the world, he starts appearing in their dreams. It's wild, man.
That is neat. That is neat. I think I remember reading about that, like scanning stuff that I want to watch maybe in the future, like just surfing. I think I came across that, and I just thought,
Dude, I'm telling you, man. It's got the Sean recommendation, man. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I never use third person. I'm not a big third person, but I just said the Sean recommendation just because I didn't know what to say. I don't know what to call it. My recommendation? I don't know. Anyway. All right. So you got some lyrics. Let's do the lyrics real quick. And we got some other topics, but I wanted to get your lyrics. To be honest with you, I don't even know what your lyrics are. I don't think you sent me the lyrics. So it's going to be a shock to me. My live reaction to the lyrics is live reaction. I don't know what your lyrics are, Joe. So here we go.
Okay. I was lying on the grass of Sunday morning of last week, indulging in my self-defeat. My mind was thugged, all laced and bugged, all twisted, wrong, and beat. Well, that is a song that's appropriate for this week, Steal My Sunshine, by a group called Len, Mark and Sharon Costanzo, and the album is You Can't Stop the Bum Rush. And I just thought, just tongue-in-cheek, because everyone's going, oh, what an Eclipse song, the eclipse of the heart. No, here comes the sun. I said, no. You know what a badass Eclipse song is. I mean, and it's tongue-in-cheek. You steal my sunshine. Now, you steal my sunshine. Let me just say this about these lyrics. Have you just read the lyrics? They're a little bit of it kind of jumbled. They're kind of jumbled, and they're not really forthright. And everything, it looks a little bit off. Um, Let me tell you something about the author. He says he went to a rave one night. Okay. He went to a rave one night. Now, there are implications there, too, about why these lyrics might seem jumbled, a little bit off, so forth and so forth, because the lyrics may have come to this guy. He says he went to a rave one night, and you can infer what you want from that. And they were playing a song that I remember, a song called More, More, More by the Andrea True Connection. 1976. More, more, more. How do you like it? You remember that song? Well, that beat, he picked that beat, and that's the same damn beat, but then he changed the words, which is done a lot, Sean. It's sort of a semi-cover, right? So he took the music from that, and I told you about a year ago I was doing a song called Rapper's Delight, and I said, well, Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang, what they did is they took the music from a song called Good Times by Chic. Good times, these are the good times.
Wait, but do you think?
Let me just go ahead. Let me go ahead. I
don't want to forget to comment on the lyrics. But don't you think the song's kind of about someone kind of killing your vibe? They're just stealing your fucking sunshine.
It can be. It can be. Some people have that. Some people have that. That there. I have a different take on this thing. I was lying on the grass of Sunday morning last week, lying on the grass on Sunday morning, or whatever, indulging in my self-defeat. I was a weekend warrior for years, Sean, and woke up many Sunday mornings like, oh my God, God knows where I am half the time, or wherever I feel like a truck hit me or this kind of thing. Regret, indulging in my self-defeat. My mind was thugged, laced and bugged, all twisted, wrong and beat. It's to me, it was just kind of reminiscent of. I don't miss them anymore. I don't miss them at all either. Some of those hangovers from when you were younger and feeling your oats. And for years, I was a weekend warrior, like I told you. That can have something to do with it too. But let me just get back to the beat. He went to a rave one night. He was probably really in tune. You know what I mean? And this song by Andrea True Connection, more, more, more. And that music, he took that music and he put his own words to it. And that's when you hear that, you steal my sunshine, that, and it's a great song. And that little beat in between is as soon as I heard that, I'm like, yo, I remember that. But what else can I tell you about the song? The group is a brother and sister duo. And I just thought, I was thinking about doing this song for the show for a while, Sean. Then I thought, oh, wait a minute. About 3 weeks ago, I thought, wait a minute. There it is. I knew it would come knocking at the door. But the song's a great song. I think it's a badass song. And I like the way he, a Sunday morning of last week, the way he takes his voice down and he slows everything down just a little, not a lot. It's cool. It's a cool song. It's been used, Sean, if you look it up in Wikipedia. It's been used in all kinds of movies and shows. It's a great song, and there it is.
Speaking of music, you sent me a clip? It's funny you sent me this clip because Howard Stern just interviewed Hart this week, and you sent me a clip that did a cover of a Zeppelin song.
You're going to California. Yeah. Going to California. Yeah, I saw that and I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow. And I came across it. I'm like, Hart and the cover. And I went and I listened to it and I'm like, oh man. Because Hart, believe it or not, Hart, they could go listen to Barracuda. Hart could lay it down.
The song that I've been jamming out to is Alone.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, they have a slow one that I like. It's called Dog and Butterfly. I like that one too. But you just go listen to,
Speaking of Dog and Butterfly, what did you say after you said the band Len? You said two names. Is that two members of the band or something like that?
No, the name of the band is Len. The name of the band. Right. And so so it's Mark and Sharon Costanzo.
Who are those people?
Mark and Sharon Costanzo are brother and sister, and they are the members of the group.
Oh, that's all I'm asking. Okay.
Len is the group. It's
because usually say I'm doing instead of me just saying Bruce Springsteen, I start naming the whole band. I'm like Bruce Springsteen, Max Weinberg, little Stevie. And I just keep going, like, or just like you're talking about, like, Led Zeppelin, like Led Zeppelin. The song's by Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant, and like I'm like,
Okay. Yeah. All right.
it threw
Okay.
me off. It threw me off when you said, because I was thinking, I was like, is it just because there's two people in the band? Why is he saying the names of the band members? I thought that was funny, man.
Okay, then. What's the next issue? Woo.
No.
That was long. Go ahead. Next issue.
Anyway,
we got to wrap this up.
I know. Yeah, we got, dude. It hasn't been an hour yet. We're still good. I got some topics. We're good, man. Would you ever climb on a moving rock wall?
What?
I saw someone's gym. I want to join a gym that has this. Has a rock wall it's a moving rock wall. So it's like you could just, it's like a good exercise. So the gym has, like, instead of just like a Stairmaster or like elliptical, they have like a moving rock wall. You just keep climbing the rocks. Obviously, just keep recycling or whatever. But it's a climbing machine.
Well, I don't know. I've never been on one. I've seen them. It looked interesting. But would I want to mess with one that moved?
Yeah. What would you do? What would you do if you were taking a shit and you felt something bite your ass, and then you turned around, there was a rat that's coming out of the toilet and it bites your ass? What would you do?
That would be very unpleasant.
Because that happened in New York City. Some guy, it's actually not a funny story, because the guy got bit and then he got, like, his organs failed and he died. So imagine like your life ends because a rat bites you and you get some organ failure and die. That would be nuts, man.
Yeah,
and not to talk about politics, because I know, I don't want to trigger anybody, but let me just tell you a story. I went to a restaurant recently. I'm not going to name who I went with, but I went to a restaurant recently, and it was apparently the people who went to the restaurant, they only wanted to go to the restaurant because the restaurant had Trump posters and Trump things all over the restaurant, right? So I know I'm not triggered, but what do you think about a place of business like trying to, like, alienate people by getting too political? They try to equate to saying that Hollywood tries to, like, talk about, like, politics and stuff, so therefore the restaurant could, like, promote their politics. So what would you be like, that's a bunch of horse shit, right? Like, a restaurant should not be shoving their politics in your face, right? Don't matter who the politician is. You there?
One never knows. One never knows.
I know you don't want to get triggered by Trump, but I just wanted.
Sean? I don't want to be too political.
But I had a very weird experience, because the people, they only wanted to go to the restaurant because it was associated with Trump, and I was like, okay, that's weird, and I was like, that's interesting that they're drawing people in by their politics. I thought that was kind of bizarre, but anyway. Do you ever hear of a baseball player on the Yankees named Fritz Peterson?
Fritz Peterson?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have.
Fritz Peterson, he just died today, so rest in peace. But apparently in 1972 or something like that, him and a teammate on the Yankees, they swapped families. They swapped wives. Like they hung out a bunch of times and they decided they fell in love with the other's wife. So they swapped wives, and they didn't do it just like for the fun of it. Like, because some people are like swingers and they swing and they swap partners and stuff, which obviously is like a little bit kind of strange, but that's a whole nother story. But they actually, like, they actually got divorced, and this guy married this other guy's wife, and the other guy married the other guy's wife. The other people stayed married for the rest of their life, and the other guy got divorced soon after. But isn't that crazy to swap wives and just like, oh, I'm gonna marry, like, that's a switch. That's crazy to me, dude.
That's very.
And they announced it in a press conference too. Apparently they did like a press conference. The fact that I never heard about the story till today is wild.
Yeah, I don't recall hearing about it, but what are you going to do? It is weird. I've heard stories like that. I've heard weird stories like, well, there are people that do that shit all the time.
But okay, so man, everything's good, man. Your cheat meals are good. Life is good. It sounds like life's good for you.
Yep.
What was your most recent cheat meal? Just to quickly go over that.
Most recent cheat meal would have been last so Five Guys. Five Guys, burgers and fries.
All right. Let me just tell you before we go, what would you do? Like if you had like a pair of khakis that you never wore, it still had the tags on it, and it was like, I guess it could have been like almost 2 years since you had the khakis.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to return the khakis to the store because they don't fit, and what would you do if the store tells you, like, say the khakis cost like $40 originally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, what would you do? Like, let's say the store is Old Navy. What would you do if the store tells you, yeah, these khakis are only worth $2.47? Would you keep the khakis and just like try to lose weight to fit into the khakis, or would you take the $2.47 and just put it towards another purchase?
I'd keep the pants and either try to fit them myself or find someone that could fit them. And if they couldn't do that, I'd take them to Goodwill.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because this happened to me. I went to Old Navy to return. I need to wear khakis like more for my new job,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to return these khakis, and the guy's like, I was like, oh yeah, he's like, oh yeah, here's a new size. I was about to exchange it. He's like, yeah, these are only worth $2.47. Do you still want to go through with this? And I thought about it. I'm like, no, like I'm gonna say they're gonna try to like lose some weight, I guess, or just like you said, donate the khakis to Goodwill.
Yeah.
Why would I take $2.47? I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me.
I agree.
Anyway, before we go. But we talked about that Elisa Jordana thing earlier. Remember I sent you the video of the guy, they ordered Chinese food and he's sitting in the chair and the girlfriend's taping him and she's telling him, and she's like talking about how she ordered Chinese food. Remember you saw the video, right?
No, I don't remember that. Chinese.
Oh, dude, you had a big,
oh, wait a minute. Yeah. The guy was he was a little frail guy.
Yeah.
He was kind of, yeah.
That's one of the funniest, because you always ask me what's the funniest video. That's one of the funniest videos I've seen, man. He's definitely,
I feel bad for
that dude is pussy whipped, but he's also like, it's like, is this dude is he gonna ask for help? Like, is he gonna ask? Because it looks like in the video, she's like telling him what to say and stuff.
Yeah, it was, it was hard to watch, just put it that way. And I felt for the guy, but I don't. And you never saw her. You never saw her at all. You didn't see her thumb. You saw nothing of her. So, you know what I mean?
Like, she's good looking or bad looking, or
I think, well, I don't know. I better not go down that road.
Well,
I'm not going down that road. I'm not going down that road.
Remember we had an earthquake recently. When the earthquake happened, imagine, like, think of all the top 5 places that's the worst places to be during an earthquake. Obviously, you don't want to die. But imagine getting a vasectomy, and while you're getting a vasectomy and an earthquake happens, that's pretty bad timing, because that happened to a guy.
Yeah, I saw it on the news. I saw it somewhere. It must have been on the news. Yeah, it was. So no, not the news. I saw it on like Jimmy Kimmel or something like that. But it was for real. And matter of fact, it may have been on the actual news. It may have been. I'm not sure. Because it could have been. It's not like inappropriate or anything. But yeah, you don't want to be there or in any kind of surgery or,
Yep. All right, man.
Agreed.
So, okay, we're going to wrap it up. Thought it was a good show. We got a lot of topics to get to. We could, we don't know when we're going to do the next show, but I'm thinking soon. I'm thinking like possibly.
Well, yeah, in the normal time frame, in the normal. Yeah, we don't want to make any, in the normal time frame. Yep, normal rhythm.
Soon might be like, instead of like 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Soon could be 2 weeks. Who knows? Whatever. We'll see.
Could be 5, 7.
So if you guys want to follow us on social media, we got a Twitter account now. I'm trying to put out clips. I'm trying to cut clips from the show and like do some advertising, because again, we haven't done any advertising for the show, but we do have our loyal listeners, and we're happy we're doing the show, having a good time. And yeah, Joe, any closing words?
Shake your tambourine, go and get yourself a whistle. Good night.
Take care, everyone.